Hey everyone, welcome back to Cooking with Shotgun Red, and I'm Sheila.
I'm Jennifer.
You know, I've been craving something really sweet.
And something warm.
Yes, to go with the coffee.
Oh yeah, gotta have some coffee with this one.
I know.
This is such a good recipe. My great-grandmother used to bake pies in North Dakota, and she was such a perfectionist when it comes to pies. And this is one of those recipes that everybody will love. It's kind of a apple crumble pie, kind of a Dutch pie, and it's so good. Wait until you try this.
I like ice cream on top of that.
Oh, ice cream. Oh yeah, warm apple pie. There's nothing better.
Cool Whip.
That's right. So we are going to take you back and we're going to show you how we do it. All right.
So we got 7 Granny Smith apples, which we've peeled, cored, and sliced them.
And they're all in the bowl and they're ready to go. And then we're going to take
1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon.
And just sprinkle it right over the top of this. And we're just going to mix this together and make sure that that cinnamon gets coated on all these apple slices. I love cinnamon. I love the smell of cinnamon.
I put that in my coffee sometimes.
Oh, yeah. So then we've got some pre-made
refrigerated pie crust.
And these are super easy to use, but you want to make sure it's room temperature before you try rolling it out, because if you don't, it ain't going to be pretty. Now, you could make your own, but if most people don't want to mess with all that flour and dough, so this is a super easy way to make this pie without having to do all that flour. And we're just going to press it into the bottom of the dish.
Then to make the fancy little
fluted edges. Yeah, you want to make sure it's even. And then you can just take your 2 forefingers and your thumb and flute those edges. It's the best you can. Some come out good, some don't, but
oh, this one's good.
And then we've got our skillet over here on medium heat.
And 1 stick of butter. You gonna cut that in half?
Yeah, we'll chunk that up a little bit. Might make it easier to melt.
Gotta have our butter.
Everything's better with butter.
Exactly.
And then we're going to whisk that around till it's completely melted and add in
3 tablespoons of all-purpose flour.
And you want to continually whisk and get all those clumps out of there, and don't stop whisking.
Don't answer the phone.
Don't walk away from the stove. Got to keep whisking. And then we're going to add a little bit of water.
4 tablespoons of water.
And
1 cup of granulated sugar.
And we'll just keep whisking that. And you'll see it start coming together here, and that sugar will melt into the butter. We were laughing. When you make this, it kind of looks like applesauce.
Yeah,
but
awesome.
It is going to be applesauce, really.
It is, actually.
It's going to go right over those apples.
The sauce for the apples.
So you want this to start bubbling. So get it bubbling. Let it bubble for a little bit. Maybe about a minute or 2. And then take it off the heat. And then we got our pie crust over here.
Now you're going to dump all the apples into the pie crust.
So we'll put them in. Fill that pie plate up with all these yummy apples. And I really like the Granny Smith because they have a tartness to them. I mean, you can use, you know, some other kinds of apples, but I like the Granny Smith for this particular recipe.
And your granny would appreciate that.
Oh, yeah. Granny, you like my Granny Smith apples. And then we're going to take this yummy sauce that we're still whisking.
Yeah, that applesauce we talked about.
That's right. Applesauce right over the top of those apples. Now, you could have put this in the bowl and coated the apples, but I like to pour it right on top. And then you just take it and spread it around gently, and it'll fill all those little crevices in there. Don't worry about it, because as that heats up, that's going to melt and go all the way down to the bottom. Swerve it all around there.
Nothing like a good oven to make this happen. Here we go.
So now we're going to make our crumb topping. So we got a bowl.
1 cup of all-purpose flour.
And
a 1/2 cup of packed brown sugar.
And then we've got
2 tablespoons of granulated sugar.
And by the way, guys, you can use the sugar alternative if you're watching your sugar.
And 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon. And 1/2 teaspoon of salt.
We'll pour that in. And then we're going to whisk this together, get all these completely combined. And this is a really easy pie to make. I mean, it's so good. I mean, there's nothing better than this baked apple pie. Oh, you walk in the door and you can just smell it.
Yeah, it smells like fall.
Exactly.
And here's another stick of butter.
And this is room temperature butter. And I'm going to get my hands in here and start getting it all mixed together.
As you said, whisking it or whispering it.
Mushing it.
Yeah.
Get it all in there. This is where the kids come in handy. Hey, come in here and mish all this together. They really get into this. I better go wash my hands off. Look at that. But it's all crumbled up like pea-sized crumbles now. And I am going to go wash off my hands. And now that that's all ready to go. And that's how you want it to look. Just like pea-sized crumbles. And then we're going to add
about 3/4 cups of chopped pecans.
Gotta love chopped pecans.
Mm-hmm.
And mix all that in. It's a little sticky, but it's going to be perfect. And then, once we get that all mixed together, we're going to just take it by hand and just crumble it right over the top of this wonderful pie. Fill in all those spots.
That is one full dish.
It is. Look at that. Yum. So we've got our oven.
Preheated for 350 degrees.
And we're going to put it in there. And then
put the foil on the bottom.
So it doesn't drip over the edges.
Right.
Put the foil on the bottom.
Starts bubbling. You never know what happens.
We're going to let it bake for about 45 minutes. You can see it's starting to get really brown, so I'm going to turn the oven down to about 325.
Then bake for another 10 minutes.
And it should be good to go. Look at that. Yum. That looks so good. So appetizing.
I would say this is something you could take somewhere else, but you'll never make it out of your house.
It isn't going to make it out.
So
we're going to do a little bit of a glaze. This is just a powdered sugar glaze. And you make that with just a little bit of powdered sugar and some milk. Pretty simple to do. It's an option. You don't have to do that, but I think it makes it look pretty.
It does.
And it tastes good. And since we're going to do that, I think we should add some caramel to it.
Bring it on.
Drizzle some caramel across. We'll go a different direction with this one. Isn't that pretty? Now you got to let this cool.
That looks like fall.
It does. But you can't rush this now. You got to let it sit for about 45 minutes.
If you can stand it.
If you can stand it. Obviously we can't. So we're cutting into it now. This is going to fall all over the place. It'll turn into an apple crumble because we can't wait for the pie.
I don't care. I don't care. I got my coffee poured.
She's ready to go. Look. Oh my gosh. Yum. Look at that. So good. We're still rushing it, but boy, that looks good.
I don't care.
Okay, so we were rushing it just a little bit. Now, don't do as we do. Just let it sit and rest for about 45 minutes. Let it cool off before you start trying to cut into it. Because
I know, because it smells so good.
Oh my gosh, it's so good.
I got my coffee ready. I'm ready.
Did you smell that?
Yes.
Oh, that cinnamon and apple. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to try this. All right, let's try some.
Ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, here we go.
Oh, good. Wow.
I like apples. I like
cinnamon.
Everything that's on here.
Pecans.
I like stuff that's got crunches to it.
It does. It's got everything. So flavorful. pour you some coffee, and get you a slice of this apple crumble pie. It is delicious. Yummy.
Can I have a sip?
Sure. She's got her coffee. She's ready to go. As Steve would say, is this the best apple crumble pie you've ever tried? If it ain't, it ought to be. We'll see you next time right here on Cooking with Shotgun Red. Bye. Mom, you got to try some of this.
Oh my gosh, I
it's
can't
so
wait.
So good. Oh my gosh, it's just crumbling apart on me.
I love this.
Well, that's She and Jen, them two girls having too much fun. We hope you enjoy this recipe, and we really hope you subscribe to our channel. That's easy. Little Shotgun Red's face will pop up over here in a little bit. When you click on it, it'll say subscribe, then you're subscribed. Next to it will be a little notification bell. If you click that little bell, then YouTube will send you every single one of our recipes or a notification that we posted one as soon as it comes out. See you next time right here on Cooking with Shotgun Red. Is this the best? If it ain't, it ought to be.